Yeah.
It's bad. Um, and then met this group, and holy crap, where it has come is something else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I've started the broadcast, but I'm trying to find, like, where do you find your own broadcasts on YouTube?
I just go to my channel, and the broadcast you should see your broadcast on your channel just live there.
Oh,
I pulled
there
it
you
up
are.
on my phone. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I keep forgetting that, because I'm using the iPad app, so it's a little different. Also, there's a lag. That is weird.
Yeah, it's. I've had to watch my broadcast so I can comment before, and it is so weird if I have the volume on because I'll hear myself
Yeah.
repeat 10
One,
seconds later.
yeah. One of the things that I don't like putting on my screen is like shrinking it down to put the questions on the side because like
Screws
my
with your
eyes,
perception.
yeah, my eyes are also fairly bad, so it's
Yeah.
hard to focus on everything. Mind you, you don't really have to read while you're racing, but I mean, like read
No,
the small print. But
it's more so perception, like seeing your line and stuff. I've raced with that comment stuff on the side, and it messes up my whole race because
yeah,
it's a whole new screen you have to get used to. I have bad eyes too. Actually, the reasoning behind the Yeti name is actually I have albinism, so
oh yeah,
white hair. So that's
ah,
the whole Yeti thing. And I ride bikes, so there's the two.
oh yeah, yeah,
So, and I ride bikes.
Don't push the car just yet. Track is still green. Try and take it easy for the first couple of
Right.
laps.
yeah. I like having Jeff in my ear so that when he talks, it doesn't come through the TV speaker, and
I'm
you
the
know, like
same
there's
way.
an echo. Yeah, it's just I like that a lot better.
I can't remember. Is it you that's a McLaren follower, or is it somebody
Yep.
else?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I love McLaren. I've been so heartbroken over what's going on, and Boulier just resigned, and
Yep.
so
Yeah, I read that today. I was like, ooh,
yeah,
oh,
it's
that's
rough.
bad or good.
Yeah,
In the article I read though, it sounds like it sucks that they left and they're wishing them farewell, but how they're saying how they can simplify the team, get it more stable, seems like it's also kind of beneficial.
yeah.
I don't know the details inside McLaren, but I think it might be actually a beneficial thing for the team.
Yeah, I hope so. Anything to,
Better
you
than
know, yeah, anything is better than what happened in the last 4 years.
Yep. Now that wasn't Eric's fault though. That deal was signed before he even joined McLaren.
Right? Yeah.
Uh,
It was
so
just like it had the potential to be great, but the reality was just Honda could not get that um, hybrid just to work reliable.
it's a complex system. I mean, some
Yeah.
people like, oh, they're on engines are crap and stuff. Well, I don't even understand the engineering part. I'm not an engineer, of course, I'm not gonna understand it. But it's building the engine alone is a lot more complicated than building F1 engine. The
Yeah.
last time Honda did it was in the 80s, so I mean that's about 30 plus years.
Yeah.
We've not
And
had
that.
to touch that engine, so I'm not surprised that
Yeah.
it's
I guess. I guess they were kind of expecting themselves to be like Mercedes when they, became a works team, even though they've been making engines or supplying engines for a long time.
yeah,
But like, well, when Hamilton moved to Mercedes, everybody was questioning it, saying, like, why are you going to a team that is unproven, won't win, all that. 5 years later, five straight, um, constructors, yeah. So it's, I guess they fancied that, like Honda fancied themselves as the Cinderella story, like Mercedes was, or a potential. But
I don't think it was necessarily that. It was more the Cinderella story of McLaren Honda back in the age of Senna.
yeah,
That's what they
lightning in a bottle. Yeah.
But of course, the past is past, and to rekindle that would have been awesome. But
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I'm hoping Alonso re-signed with McLaren. His contract's up this year. I suspect he will because he is very supportive of the team. He likes McLaren.
Yeah.
But you never know.
With that, you're now currently the fastest in this session so far.
Like, I would love to see him go to Indy to hunt down that Triple Crown, but
yeah,
maybe not this year. But at some point, I would. Yeah, that would be nice if he went to Indy. He may get bored driving. Yeah, he might get bored turning left all the time, though. Well, not all the time, but
mostly.
Yeah. That's like the joke I always make when people ask, "What's the difference between F1 and NASCAR?" And I'm like, well, the ability to turn right.
I caught that joke in your last videos. I don't know if it was last night or it's one of our OBRC races. I caught that.
Yeah.
How you say it. Yeah, with F1 you actually can turn right.
But I think in Australia this year in OBRC, I kind of like the bar was set really high with the commentary. Like, it was my first crack at it, and the two Ferraris ended up in the sand almost right away, or in the gravel. And I just came up with the whole an impromptu team meeting, and I'm like, shit, I'm not going to be able to come up with anything any better than that. It's like I could do like 20 of these commentaries and never be funnier. And I'm like, should I have just quit while I was ahead?
That's the what do you call it? I can't think of what you call it, but the beautiful but horrible thing with live commentating is you can get those awesome funny jokes, and the funny ones are always ones that are random, like that.
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you might have really dormant dead races, so then it's really hard to try to amp it up.
Yeah.
The thing I found with small bits of the commentary I've done is you really got to know how to capitalize on any little.
Yeah.
You can do that. It goes a long way. And that's why too I've actually offered maybe kind of commentary race with you, because having two people makes that so much better because people bounce off each other. And I've always wanted to get more in depth with commentating. I can't do it on my own. I really can't.
Like you need the opportunity to just stop talking for a minute, and then someone to start talking to fill the gap. I always feel like I have to fill every little silence. And
the hour-long races we have.
Yeah, that is very tough. Like at the end of that race, the commentary that I did in Monaco, I had no voice. It was scratchy, and my throat was sore, and it was fun, but the end result hurt.
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind flying out for one of these races. I'll hop out of the seat and commentary box.
Yeah.
If you continue doing these races live.
Yeah. I would
don't know how
love
you do it.
Yeah. I'm not sure how either. No, I was going to say doing it in the party chat, but you won't be able to see what I've, if I'm recording, the playback and all that, unless you were sitting in my room next to me as I do it. That's the only way.
I'm not about to buy a plane ticket every week.
Exactly. Yeah. But like, if there happens to be, what I would love is occasionally if a driver crashes out, to jump into the commentary box. Yeah. But then, yeah. The only thing is, like, they may be annoyed or upset at, crashing out and, might not want to talk, which is understandable. I guess I would always leave that open. Like, I was thinking of changing the party to private after the interviews and everything, but then because I don't want friends who aren't involved in OBRC to jump in and start talking during the broadcast. That would be kind of annoying, but yeah. Either that or I could just say.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I could just quietly say please leave. Maybe not as polite.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
One thing that we should do with the post-race interviews especially is have a disclaimer of if you have had a bad race, you can have an interview by a day or two later, because I've had some heated races in my season with OBRC. I've been racing since season 1.
Oh yeah.
All of us have come off the races where it was livid. Mark has heard not even the end of it with me in some races. I think it was Bahrain of this season I had a bad nose, and that whole race through I was just yelling and swearing.
Oh yeah.
Over team radio was bad. I actually had to apologize when I got. So yeah, we'd want interviews, I think, post-race, top 3, just to follow suit with the official stuff.
Yeah.
And then, after that, anybody else who wants to have a name.
Yeah.
It's totally optional, so I wouldn't want to be on the spot.
Right, yeah. I know there are some who just leave the lobby right away, without saying a word. Like Carl, not to center him out or anything, but I notice a lot that, and Nigel, he's hardly ever in the voice chat. But as soon as the race is done, they're like, boom, I'm out of here.
They're gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just there for the race, I think. Nothing wrong with that, but
right. Yeah. Yeah, I think it should just be open to everyone, and if they want to, they can come in. If they don't, that's fine too. I'm not gonna say I don't want to put out a list of people who I want to interview. I want people to come in, although it'd be hard to come up with questions. Yeah, it'd be hard to come up with questions. I guess the post race could just be take us through the race. That's pretty much. That would be my question. Yeah. Take us through your race.
And if there's any specific highlights or moments that you can recall or anybody wants to bring up, we will address those.
Yeah.
That's where the beauty in having 2 commentators would be, because we both they'll remember different things, so we can ask.
Yeah. I don't have to rely solely on my horrible memories, so. I know I make light of it, but it is kind of it does weigh heavily on my mind. But if I can't laugh at it, then I would just be going crazy. So it's just it's just one of those things that it's difficult. So
I feel it. I've had a few concussions that have led to some memory loss too. So
yeah.
I have I know where you're coming from, but
Yeah.
all I can do is make humor of it because why whine about it?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here I am sitting here watching my cockpit when I should be out there watching you racing. Oh, there you go. And everybody you're watching, this is how you really race. No assists.
On a control.
Yeah. I finally got the accolade or the trophy for going with like finishing a race without assists, and I did one with ultimate opponents, winning a race with ultimate opponents. I got that one done. The only two that I have left are obtain a 25 and then a star online, which is 50, and then I get the platinum trophy. But my online profile is only at 16, so I tried doing online racing, and I just got so disillusioned with all the people who ram. Oh,
you want to avoid that. F1 would probably be worth being for it.
Yeah.
As ironic as it is for the strict sport, it is.
Yeah. Like Forza is pretty bad for rammers, but F1, like at least in Forza, you can report or ban people. Certain players have the ability to ban from lobbies and stuff like that, but here, like, you can't even complain to anybody. There's just they do it, and I don't understand how they find that fun. Like, I don't know. I guess you just have to have a certain mindset.
It's
or
a
lack
mindset I'll never understand.
Yeah. It's just I guess I can understand how people would find that fun.
Yeah.
But for me, it would be like make one race. It would be fun, and then beyond that, it would just be why. I'd rather just race.
Yeah. On another racing note, I guess I'm making it official here since it's live. I am looking at buying a Fanatic here.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nice.
I should have that coming in my next paycheck. Really probably gonna piss off some people here, but I'm gonna view the shit out of my money.
I would love to use a wheel. This is probably the one game I play more than I play Star Trek Online, but that's on the PC.
Oh, okay.
So I play this, as much as I can. I'm still doing careers for 9 of the 10 teams. So I may only be in the first season of a lot of them, but McLaren is the one that I've gone the furthest. I've gone almost 6 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you're doing that. I haven't really touched my career much, but I get so busy trying to keep up to date with OBRC.
Yeah.
I'm still in season 1.
I've gotten my McLaren completely 100% upgraded. Everything is done on it.
Wonderful.
Oh,
it's wonderful.
Oh my God! Like I think I did a 142 here.
Wow.
Well, maybe not that fast. There's like a 143 or 140 something. I can't remember, but that car just flies around. It sticks to the track like you would not believe. It is insane. And then going to like the normal car, like this car. Well, I think I put it on equal and not realistic. But like if it was on realistic, it would be like I don't know, driving a lawnmower, one of those riding mowers.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Just a lawnmower.
Sounds really nice.
Yeah,
I do like the sound of this Honda engine though.
Like they do sound good.
Yeah.
I actually
tyres
don't
you
like
might need to use
Mercedes.
later.
I just don't like the team in general.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Ferrari, I used to be a fan of. They don't sound too bad, but I love my Renault and Honda
Yes. Yep.
engine.
Yeah. The Red
I
Bull.
love that.
Oh, the Honda.
I
Or
love
the,
that softer tone, but kind
yeah.
of aggressive.
It's like a
so.
purr. But I've always likened the Mercedes sound to somebody crunching on gravel, like just chewing gravel. That's what it sounds like to me.
It's
Oh,
mean.
yeah. Like, gives me a headache after driving. You know, I finished doing Austria last night, and I had a headache from the sound, and that's with the big,
Oh.
can speakers on, so
Yeah, so
or
that's really
headphones.
just.
Check's
Yeah.
complete. We're ready.
Yep. But I've gotten through 2.25 seasons of my Red Bull career, and that one I've gotten the engine completely upgraded, and now I'm working on the aero, I believe. I always do one department first. Like my first season, I always do the engine durability, or the gearbox durability. I get that done, and then everything else after that is just, it's fun. Oh shit, I lifted off going up a rouge.
Yeah, I'm full throttle through there.
Yeah. I was right on your gearbox. I wasn't sure, like, if I made one little mistake, I was going to take us both out. So I'm like, yeah, I'd rather just back off, and 'cause it's an outlap, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the sound of the Honda and the Renault. You can hear more things going on, like the gearbox, the turbo.
Yeah. What do you think of this year's Toro Rosso when they're off the throttle? Like that burbling sound. To me,
I
that
like it.
I do. Me too. It just sounds so cool. It kind of sounds like a motorcycle, like a Harley or something. It's like.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's like me at a golf course. I love touring every place on the course. Going from side to side on the track. Golf course, I always felt that I didn't get my money's worth unless I saw every inch of the course. And that meant the woods, the lake, everything.
So you just put the golf ball everywhere you could then.
Yeah, well, I had no control over where it went, so it was basically me just, oh, well, I hit it there, so I guess that's where I'm going to look. That reminded me of the...
I can't say I've ever been to a golf course.
Yeah, oh, really? Yeah, I used to go maybe once or twice a month before my injury, but the first race that I actually recorded it and did the overlays for, someone had cut that final corner, and I put in shh, nobody saw it. And it was like everybody was laughing at that, and I'm like, oh, cool, okay, now I'm gonna do that for more races. And
I remember that first season that you did videos for us. There was some controversial moments that were had on the track. I remember.
Yeah,
it was a good season though. That was an exciting season. This season, I don't know what to make of this season so far. It's I mean. You know what I'm gonna say, because we all know where Getty is standing in the point right now.
yeah,
Thank you, Brady.
yeah.
But that's my reason. But I don't know about the other guys. I'm sure they're having a good time up there. I'm just trying to get this damn McLaren back up the pack. It's been my goal since season 1, and I'm dead set on staying with it until it's where.
That's one of the things that I was worried about in the questions when I put that your season hasn't been going the way it, as expected, and I'm like, I hope he's not offended or anything like that when I wrote it.
No.
Because
I was just kind of like, okay, how do I Fernando Alonso this?
Yeah, no power, a GP2 engine. But like when I wrote the question, I'm like, okay, it sounds kind of mean. And then I realized, okay, well, it's not that mean, but if I add something that, you know, trying to bring McLaren back to or past season glory, that kind of, you know, rescued it.
See, I didn't even see it as a, like, as an attack or anything. It's a realistic answer. I myself am a realist.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna take heart to it. I will, however, give a realist answer back.
Yeah.
But you know, it's, I guess, to elaborate more on it because I was crunched for time and also nervous. You know, I don't got an issue with the car or anything, or
You're nearly out
not
of
with
fuel.
Mark. Mark is
Almost
doing
out of fuel.
great.
You need to pit
He's a
within the
rookie
next 2
driver.
laps.
He, you know, has been with us since, not with McLaren, but with OBRC since season 1. Racing for Haas for a couple of years. Whenever you were there when he was on Haas. And I've always seen potential in him. And
Box this lap, please.
I've always had plans to sign him on. And finally he's here, so it's just developing him and developing myself, of course, because I'm not at the pace of it I should be. Oh god. Yes.
I just had
So
a nice.
it's a lot of development. We're getting there.
I just had a nice little battle with signs. Yeah. Just oh shit! I just realized I have just a little over a lap's worth of fuel. Might be able to get a nice good time. That'll can tow me along this straight.
What AI difficulty is this on, just so I know what I'm racing against?
I think 60.
60. Wow, I am doing bad right now. I race at 90.
Yeah, I normally do too. I think at one point I put it up to 90, and I'm like, it's just kind of. Yeah, I just put it down because it was casual.
Yeah. I mean, why not turn on the AI and feel like a badass or
Yeah. I was.
I think I need to start doing more of that, actually.
Yeah. I was surprised. Like, I didn't realize that AGF was Canadian. I thought he was Portuguese, but I guess he's Portuguese-Canadian, living in Portugal.
Oh, okay.
I'm not positive. But it does make sense. But because he's been driving under the Portuguese flag for a while.
He has been, so I just assumed he was...
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
Somewhere else. I've never heard his voice, so, you know, you're never able to really tell by somebody's flag on the game.
Right, yeah, and Kev's North Korean, apparently, so...
Yeah, right?
Oh, jeez. And someone...
His flag changed almost every season.
Yeah, I think whoever won Monaco, was a female driver, so, you know, you never know. Unless you hear their voice. Oh, shoot. What number?
Yeah, actually, the reason why I don't talk much in the lobbies, I'm never really heard, so me and Mark always just go into party chat with team radio. And...
Oh, yeah. Is that man?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
oh, okay. Yeah. Me with my whole man.
Everybody had issues with it, and one day I'm like, all right, what's your real name? And he's like, Mark. Okay, cool. Because fuck your gamer thing.
Yeah.
1 minute, 46.9.
Did you happen to see what number was on my car? I couldn't remember what profile I had taken. Okay.
No, I don't pay attention to race numbers. I did one time in the OBRC season. All right, who's copying my number? And there's like a 124 out there or something. So I'm like, okay, I think it was Darkness Viper actually, or somebody else. But I was running 24, and I switched to 58 because that's the number I also have on my McLaren and GT3. So I'm like, all right, I'll just go 58 across the board.
Oh yeah.
That is why I'm I'm gonna form the pits here. I'm gonna go grab something to eat because it's about dinner for me.
All right.
Not taking off, just like quick fight.
Okay.
Oh, the tires are on. Alrighty, I will be right back.
Okay.
Alright, just grab some breakfast for dinner.
Nice. I changed the broadcast to show the whatever the hell it's called. I've forgotten the word or the the questions and stuff, just to see. Yeah, the comments, just to see what it's like.
Anybody said anything, or are we all alone?
All alone. It's all alone. Yeah, it is smaller. Title of my sex tape. Yeah, it is. It's Although I do like my my icon. It's not the one I see. I see the one that I see my profile picture, which is it's 100% Canadian, I think, or something like that.
Oh, the skull or something. Yeah.
Yeah. 100% Canadian Bullet Gaming. That's the one that I always see. And
your YouTube.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, because I forgot that it was a skull with the Canadian flag on it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It kind of looks like what yours is. It's just a different variation on the same theme.
Yeah, I actually haven't changed that back. I had a little Deadpool thing going on, but I changed my profile to that.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, the unicorn.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
I'm actually going to change that back because I love that.
I noticed that, yeah, the stroking the unicorn's horn. That's just completely Deadpool.
A little insight to Yeti's humor.
Yeah.
Not so innocent as I may seem, or professional as I may come across. Weird.
That is weird watching that with the comments. That's why when I do a broadcast, I use the iPad app, the second screen, so questions will pop up on that instead of on my screen. It's just so much easier. Although I do have to take my eyes off the track to read the questions, but I just wish I had like a big ass, huge 50-inch TV. That would be awesome.
That would be that. I mean,
And then
I have a 40.
Yeah, and then I would still complain that it's too small.
See, what I really want is the 3 monitor setup.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then I would still complain that. Then you can just turn and see beside you, like look beside you. That's just.
See, what I really want is the 3 monitor.
That's cool. That picture from AGF, from that whatever, if that was an internet cafe or whatever, that was. I can't believe that's in a mall. That's just insane.
I don't recall seeing that picture. I don't. I'm sure it's posted, but I miss so much stuff in that chat because it blows up.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah. It was just like, it was a narrow picture, and it showed, the wheel with the 3 monitors, and then there were like 3 others in the background. And he was saying that it was in a mall, so food isn't a problem. You can just go get food whenever you want. Like I would rather have people bring food to me. I would never leave.
Yeah, let's move OBRC Sundays to that mall.
Yeah. That's like the esports when they everybody gets their own little cockpit they sit in, and that would be awesome.
On a budget.
Yeah. Oh man.
All set. Everyone clear?
I honestly, I used to be such a against esports, but
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I used to be such a. What I got thinking actually, just when I was getting my food here, while how you're saying it'd be cool if you had a driver come in if they wrecked. Well, half seasons I've always wrecked out as I jump.
Oh yeah.
So going by history, that's gonna happen again.
Well, you're welcome to join the broadcast.
I will.
Hopefully I don't see you in the broadcast and see you on the podium. That would be nice to see.
I hope so, but...
Yeah, that is such an enclosed track, and the castle section always kicks my ass. Ugh.
Yep.
When I first started playing it in 2016, what was it? The quick left and then right, going onto that long straight. I would always bounce off of one wall into the other. I was playing without damage, so it didn't affect me too much. But like that's one of the tracks where, when I was on the brake assists, I would.
The damage only looks minor, but you'll need to take it easy to avoid making the problem worse.
I had Jeff in my ear. I would like, you'd get on that straight, and then you'd be getting up to speed, and then all of a sudden the auto brake would kick in and limit your revs, so that you can't get to the top speed of your car. And yeah, that was one of the things that was driving me crazy. I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't get speed traps. I could never redline my car in 8th gear. And I didn't realize that it was because of the auto brake, or I guess the brake assist. And Kev said, well, try it without brake assist, and because it's one of the crutches that I had. So I did. I'm like, oh wow, my car has so much more pace. One thing I also noticed in Russia, on the back straight with the DRS, where you have the gentle, I suppose, gentle left, I'd be doing that, and I would be getting close to the braking zone, and the car would automatically brake before hitting the braking zone. I'd still be going flat out, and the brakes would just activate and throw me down into like 2nd gear speed. And that would, it happened in my McLaren career. And every time during qualifying or the qualifying sim, when I was using rich mix or max fuel, I'd get to a certain point and the car would just brake itself and just completely ruined my qualifying. And that was another reason why I wanted to stop using the brake assist. And I'm so glad I did. I love, you know, having the ability to like stop my own car. You know,
It's nice.
Yeah,
Not
like braking late. You know, you can always brake late into a turn, outbraking the AI is not that difficult to outbrake. They seem to brake about a mile before the turn. One thing I've noticed in the career, all you have to do with an AI is just come up alongside of them and nudge them with your tires, and they will back out. Yeah.
Yep.
You try and do that with a human, you'll find yourself on the wall. Yeah.
I just completely changed around my spa tunes. I was noticing some issues, so hopefully this doesn't wreck me out.
I'm using a setup that is normally a Red Bull setup. I don't really have, because I have setups for every track, both wet and dry, and so that uses up a lot of space that, you know, you can save for setups. But I have all the setups on my iPad from F1carsetups.com, and I forgot to look it up from my McLaren before doing this. So I'm using a Red Bull setup, and or from my Red Bull career. But I think, the cars are on equal, so I think, oh shit, I'm done.
Are you okay? That was a big one. You're okay, please.
Oh, I flipped right over. Holy crap. Who was I? I think it was Ocon. We were going side by side, going through that turn on that back straight.
Oh, I'm coming up to the yellows for. I must see you flipped over.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're on your wheels now.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah, that's
It was a high speed, like flat out 8th gear, redlining, and we're going through that turn, and we're just sort of bumping wheels, and I think he got ahead, and he came across. I hit his rear right with my front left, and it just threw me off. I just started to spin, and I became the passenger. It was probably entirely my fault, because there's no way we should have been going too wide through that turn. It's a little kink, but you know, the track looks really wide when there's one car, but it looks so tiny when there's two.
yeah. Spa is. I think I would say it's deceivingly narrow.
Yeah.
Wider than most tracks, like than other ones in this game. But try the GT car.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like a lot of these, actually the track, it looks like it can fit 3 cars wide, but that's, you know, tire to tire.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, there's like no space whatsoever. And with 2, you'd think there's plenty of space, but you know, if you make one little mistake like I did, well, I don't think it was a little mistake. I think it was quite a large one. But I definitely paid for it. In my co-op season 1, I was ahead by like 11 seconds at Spa, and took forgotten the turn. I can't remember the names of the turns, but it's the one where you come off that really slow speed right-hander, then into the left, then there's a little bit of straight, and then there's that big sweeping left. I was doing that, and my rear tire hit the curb and just unsettled the back end of the car, and I ended up just sliding, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to hit the wall. And I was leading the race, too. It was just... you just fall asleep for one little thing.
Welcome to F1.
Yep, yeah, yeah. And I can just imagine how bad the drivers feel in real life when that happens, because that's like millions of dollars going into a weekend.
Yep. Yeah, I can imagine. It's a lot of responsibility they got. It's why only very few make it there.
Yeah. One thing I'm not sure what I should do in the broadcast is have the camera type on broadcast or the T-cam.
I think having a little bit of both is nice because it adds variety. So you don't get bored of just one shot and then go back and forth. You know, switching it up is nice.
Yeah, because I'm watching you on broadcast, and there was one turn where it was from like the helicopter, and it just looked so majestic, for lack of a better word.
Oh,
it looked
okay,
really
I thought you
cool.
meaning like the broadcast on board. Yeah, no, just the race replay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those. Do that more.
Yeah. Okay.
I was watching the replays.
Yeah, because like you guys, you know, in the race, you're seeing that. Oh, nice little spin. The victory spin. That was nice.
Thank you.
But yeah,
look like he was on purpose.
Yeah, like you guys see that view for the entire race. It would be nice to watch a replay of it from the broadcast camera instead of from the car.
It'd make it feel more like watching an F1 race.
Yeah.
Really would.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see. You see different angles that you typically don't get to see.
Yeah. Oh, they're just showing the DRS flap opening. I tend to do that sometimes if I think of it in the race. When I know someone's got DRS, I'll flip to the rear view to show the wing opening. And I always thought, you know, it's a nice little touch there, but the only thing I don't like showing the broadcast view is, you know, the overtakes, or if there's an accident, because it's on one car, and if that car isn't the one that's in the accident, you don't get to see a lot of it, or the overtakes.
That's true.
So like for overtakes, the camera view or the car view is second to none, but it does get a little monotonous.
Is if it's times in the race where it's kind of dormant, switch to the broadcast, and if there's action going on, switch between onboard cameras of different cars, like you've been doing now.
Yeah.
That way, with the variety and you can still get in on the action when it does happen.
Yeah.
Really. The thing to remember too is a lot of us are recording during our races, so you know we can get in on it.
Yeah.
If the replay needs to be looked at over a crash, it should be looking at the driver's point of views, not relying on race broadcasting, because your job is to broadcast and commentate, not race.
Right. Okay, that's actually a good point. I've always wondered if there are any disputes that would my view be used, but
probably it would definitely get used, but the POV is kind of the best. You can see the driver input.
Yeah. And I also, I take out the telemetry when I do the Spectre. I don't like having so much on the screen that you can't really see the action.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just turn off the spectator menu, just so the classification is the only one shown. But yeah, I've always wondered that, you know, if something happens and I don't catch it, like, is it going to go unpunished? But then it never dawned on me that everybody else is recording as well, or the majority are recording. And only
I know you're good at trying to get to it as quick as you can. I remember the one season where I wrecked out at Mexico, and you didn't get it, but you got me face first into the wall. Which tells the story right there.
Yeah, I remember. What was it? I wrote on the screen. We're getting reports of an incident at the I think it was the stadium section.
Second last.
Yeah,
stadium
and
section.
stadiums, and then I cut to it, and I'm like,
Like, oh,
yeah,
well, there's a Yeti in the
a Yeti in the wall.
It's
It
not like
was,
him.
yeah, it was always fun to write those things on the screen. I could think about it and then write it down, but when I'm doing the commentary, I have to try and think of it as it's happening, and it's that makes it like the one time when someone wrecked out and I started writing the lyrics to what was The Sounds of Silence, the song, and I'm like, if I tried to play that on an audio thing, the video would be struck. But if I type it out, I could get away with it. Yeah. Although I think I could probably just play the one set of lyrics without playing the entire song. I don't know.
Okay, here's some YouTube politics for you.
Okay.
You are actually allowed to play bits and pieces of a song in your video for a maximum of 15 seconds total.
Okay.
That's why you do hear on different YouTube videos when you watch, they'll play short clips of music, because you can, within those limitations, you are allowed to play that without getting flagged.
Okay.
What I would say is, if you want to bring back that, I got to box this up. If you want to bring back the text, it works just great actually, because it's a lot like the F1 highlights where they'll bring up what the drivers are saying over the radio so you can better understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
But this time, for us, you can just your little funny comments that you can think about it.
Yeah.
Those are always great because you never know when they're gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember there was one in Spa last season when I think it was AGF almost lost it in one of the turns and crashed through a couple of the styrofoam boards, and I'm like, nice save, because he came within inches of hitting the wall and completely saved his race. And or I don't know if it was AGF, but whoever it was commented on it saying, that they liked that nice save part. And the only problem is with that is it takes so long to edit those videos, putting the overlays on. Yeah. Like if I didn't do the overlays, then it wouldn't take all that long. Like just editing it down to under 60 minutes is fine. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like one of the first, I guess it was the second or third time I was doing this. I had done all of the overlays. Took me about three and a half hours to do the overlays, and then I started to cut the video down for time, not realizing that when I cut the videos down for time, I removed all of the overlays that I put on. Yeah, and I was freaking out, and then I realized, okay, I can just, because like it saves the last thing you did. I'm not really sure how it works, but I was able to cancel out of it, because like when I had done the overlays, I saved it and then went back in to do the cuts, and I thought that it was gone, and then I hit cancel, and I noticed that all my overlays were back, but it still left the problem of cutting it down to time. And at that point I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sacrifice all of qualifying, and that was able to cut it down to around 57 minutes. And so all the qualifying was gone, but I was able to save all of the things. After that, I realized that I have to do the editing first, then the overlays. But there was so much pressure to get it out in time, because like I know people weren't pressuring me to do it quickly, but they were writing in the community thing, when's the video going to be up? When are you going to upload the video? And I'm like, fuck.
With my photos, photography, I get people all the time like, are they done yet? I have other shit to edit.
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
So I'm
just going to do another lap or two here, and then we can move on to quali.
All right.
Change some. Anyway,
Well,
go on.
yeah, I actually set this to 100% race, so I don't think we should do that. I was just fiddling with the settings. I didn't think I was going to crash out. I thought a 90-minute practice would have been fine, just
Okay.
to do all the stuff and talk at the same time. So yeah, seeing as this is just a test, but you know, if you want to do some more laps, that's cool. Yeah, go out on the ultras, put a dent in that 146. Ooh.
I'm trying. Jesus. I forget that you can set some fast lap times with assists.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I think I can get better than 150s. I need to really concentrate on a lap or two, but I'm talking.
Yeah, I think what basically does it for me is the ABS. Because I set my brake pressure to 100 when I have full ABS. Because
that scared me when I was watching your tuning in Austria.
Yeah, because like my controller is so like I was saying, like there are two settings: it's full on and full off. I'd be lucky I'd be like if I went without ABS, I would have to set my brake pressure at 50%. I know, and like that's why I'm having such a hard time trying to get rid of that. And Kevin's like, yeah, just buy a new controller. Like, okay, well, I don't have $65 to just buy a new controller whenever the other one stops working.
You can buy a new game in Canada for that price.
Yeah.
For a controller. Yep. So, yeah, I feel you on that. It's hard justifying to buy just PlayStation stuff.
Yeah. Like the what is it? The corner line. That's another one that I'm having not a hard time getting rid of, but I like knowing where my brake points are without having to think about it, and I have to get rid of that.
Do you use the braking boards there?
I like. I'll see it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm almost always trying to brake at the 100, like trying to prepare myself, even when I do have the corner line on. So I'm trying to brake at and around the 100-meter board. You know, just for I guess training my my brain and my my muscles to, you know, look for the board. But a lot of the time I'm still like I don't focus on the lines. And Kevin was saying that it seems like I'm throwing him under the bus a lot, but like he was saying that I can't understand how you can sit there and watch the lines for the entire race. I'm like, well, I don't watch the lines. That's the thing. Like they're there, but I sometimes I just don't see them, which I think is starting to be a good thing that I can start turning them off. Yeah. It's just trying to do it long enough and hitting that 100-meter board, even though the lines are still on. It's going to be the ABS that is going to be impossible for me to get rid of.
Like, see, when I started, I approach it totally differently. I've always just forced myself into the thick of it, and I just adapt to the worst conditions possible. It's frustrating because you get some horrible laps for a good while. But it forces you to learn.
That's what I did with with GT Sport. I didn't have any of the assists on other than traction control, because those are just it's a bitch to try and control. Well, the F1s aren't any better with that, but with the I took off the lines, I took off the markers, and didn't have a lot of trouble with it. But I'm just so used to having the lines on in the F1 games.
I get why. I remember when I first started playing F1 back 2012 and 2013, I was coming off of the dirt games and Forza, much slower pace. So I had races where my head would hurt after, because there's so much more going on in these games, and just how fast it all happens. So if someone, now I'm not saying you're new to it, but you know, somebody brand new to F1, I can remember, you know, it's a lot to comprehend, so it makes sense why going to the assist stage is longer in this game, just because of the fact that it's that much more to comprehend.
Yeah.
Than some other racing games.
Yeah. I still somewhat consider myself new, but because I just started playing, like I said, I got the 2016 game. I think it was in May of last year, and then got 2017 when it came out in August, and I've been playing that one ever since. But I'm new in the sense that I've been playing it for just over a year, but the amount of time that I've actually played this game it's mind-boggling. Because every weekend I set up like 100% races, full qualifying, full practice. A weekend will take me 3 hours, and I'm driving the same tracks over and over and over again, so I know where my lines are. I should know where my braking points are, but I played the game so often when I first got it that at night I would be thinking about where turns are in races. Like I would start a race in my mind, and I'd be like, okay, I go through this turn, and like not consciously, but just thinking of what I had just done. Yeah. And
I'm kind of the same way, but I go to tuning. I'm always tuning, making calculations in my head.
Oh yeah.
I've actually taught myself fluid physics, believe it or not.
Oh wow. I am horrible with math, so it's just it's Greek to me. Like it's just trying to figure out my the camber and all that. I'm starting to learn, but
if you ever want to learn tuning, I mean, if you want to learn it good, I'm willing to offer my help.
Yeah.
I did not break that 146, but
yeah, you got to put an asterisk beside my 146 because of the ABS. Traction control. Like
I was hoping I would, but man, I beat the hell out of those ultras. I could not get that.
Yeah. It's so much easier, like not having to worry about the back end sliding around when you apply the throttle. Because, like with me, I apply full throttle, and in that race last night when I finally got that accolade, I had the rewind button or the flashback, and every time I started to spin, I'm like, okay, flashback. All I had to do was finish a race. It didn't say I had to win it, so I just I took one of the short tracks. Yep, I just put one of the short tracks, put the AI at 0, and turned off all the assists, flash forward on, damage off, and got it. It's a cheap way of getting it, but I got it.
I was going to say, I'm like, yeah, you're such a cheat. Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right?
I earned that.
Yeah, and doing the winning with the 110, or not the 110, the ultimate. Like for the longest time, I thought it meant racing against 110, but it's just 101 to 110. And so I set it to 101 and raced at Italy. And
there you go.
Yeah, so it's like flat out. It took a while, but got it done. But I don't think I'm going to get that online one because I'm so disillusioned with the online.
What's the online one again?
There are two. You have to get to level 25, and then get a gold star, which is get to level 50.
Nope.
And
I don't even want that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm at level 16, and I've already had enough of online. It's just so toxic.
It is.
And and it has to be a public lobby. It can't be, a custom lobby. Because, custom lobby, you can have all the people you like and know that aren't going to wreck you. But
when I got this game, I got it on day release, and a week into it, I did a couple online lobbies. After that, I was immediately looking for leagues, and I finally came across this.
Yeah. It's just... the toxicity and oh.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's great. This group though, it's
Yeah,
the best racing group I've been with over my years, and I've done my own leagues before and been in lots, and this is the best one I have been part of.
Yeah, I want to say like it's a laid back league, but it still takes it seriously, and I love that. It's like it's a perfect balance.
More serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Nobody gets mad at each other. I mean, yeah, we have our little heated moments on track, but that's because we're all racing at a competitive level.
Yeah.
Very competitive.
Yeah, it's
if you look
expected.
at when we first started in season 1, it was pretty sloppy. There's a few of us who were pretty, we were fast and whatnot, but everybody got better and better over the seasons, and then all the better guys are now starting to have to really improve their stuff.
Yeah.
When this is new, I was one of the quicker drivers, and now look at me. I'm struggling to get points.
Okay, I am going to put you on the spot. How annoyed are you that Jock has won the last 3 championships?
He might as well be in a Mercedes.
Like, he is so consistent. I noticed, like, he goes on the alternate... Yeah, he goes on the alternate strategy and is still fast. I'm like, holy hell. Damn.
What it is, he's got the pace, always has, but I think he is definitely one of, if not the most consistent driver of the group.
Yeah.
Those two hand in hand. Even if you have average pace or slightly above average pace, but if you got better consistency than most drivers, you will gain something.
Yeah, because like if you're doing consistent 110s and someone will be able to do a 108 or 109, but then have a 113 and 114, it averages itself out to being slower than the 110, which is still a pretty good. Here I am talking 110, and it's no. There's the words again.
Not Canada.
Yeah, either Canada or no context. That's it. No context as to what track it would be.
We're talking about.
Yeah.
Good guess.
Yeah, Austria.
Canada, so,
but yeah, Austria
would be better. Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to do a 107 in my career, in my co-op, and in my career my best was a 108, and that's first season at Mercedes.
Okay.
And but in the race it was like 110s, 109s, with heavy fuel and everything. But oh my God! When I was doing my McLaren career, I don't know if this has happened, or if other people have noticed this, but every time we'd get to Austria, Raikkonen would retire. Like in the 5 seasons that I have done so far at Austria, he's retired in every single race. One of them was on the last lap; just his engine blew up. He hasn't finished a single race at Austria in my career. And when I did the race yesterday in Mercedes, I'm like, okay, where's the Raikkonen curse? When's it going to kick in? But he ended up finishing it. I'm like, God damn it. Yeah. But
that's weird.
Yeah. It's just, I also had one in the McLaren career after I had it 100% upgraded and the durability, everything. Fernando had retired in 6 straight races after having all of it done, and
now
that's weird.
That might have been then, before we had a recent update with this game where your upgrades didn't go your teammate as well.
Oh, it did, yeah. Like this was in season 5 after update 1.13.
Okay, so that would have been it.
It was the last one. Like, what I do with my career is in Australia, I always buy the next, or like the 5th set of components to start at the back. It's the first race, I don't worry about it, and then I use the components 1 for practice, component 2 for qualifying, components 3 for the race, and I'll do that for every single race. And it just makes my engines last longer, but I know that the AI, they don't do that. They just use the first engine for everything until it blows up. And that's possibly what was happening to Fernando. That yeah, yeah. But in 6 straight races, well, it may not have been 6, it may have been 4 or 5, but it was ridiculous that I was running in Spa, and then I see he retired on lap 4, and then we went to Italy. He retired on lap 14, and then Singapore. It was like fairly late in the race, and then Malaysia he retired as well. So like there were those 4 races in a row that he retired with mechanical issues and not terminal damage. It was just a mechanical issue. And
that's interesting. It might have been electrical.
Yeah, yeah. And like I know that like the human player, they don't get those engine blowouts like the AI do. Like it's just a random thing with the AI, even if their car is fully upgraded.
Yeah.
Which I think it would lend a lot more. Oh, I thought they were going to T-bone you there. It would lend a lot more realism if with the human, just to have an engine blow, even if it's at like 2%.
Yeah.
Like that would be so cool.
It could happen.
Yeah, because that's what happens.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Well, that's gearbox. Sorry, that was gearbox, but
yeah.
But yeah, no, same concept. It's.
I would
hoping
love
2019 offers that. No, yeah, 2019 game. No, 18.
18,
Jesus,
yeah.
I'm
thinking in advance.
I've been reading a lot of 2019 regulations, so 2019 is already stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want more mechanical failures like that, and that's what's nice about Project Cars. It does kind of offer things like that a little bit more,
Oh yeah.
Your brakes fade.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wow, that's cool. The one thing I've never, the one thing I've never had in this game, in anything, is a tire puncture. I've never had one, ever. Like.
Oh, you want to know a way to get one?
Oh yeah, drive them over 70%.
Yep.
Oh wow. Did you have the brakes applied and the throttle at the same time?
Yep.
I thought so.
I'm gonna DQ here. I'm gonna get going. Yeah, there you go. You can get a punch for that one.
Oh wow.
Just wear the shit out of your tires.
Yeah.
I think I've come very close. Actually, Canada. I can give you a little post-race interview here in Canada.
Okay.
The last couple of laps, when I was trying to make up the ground there, because that race went out. I finished the race at about 70-75% tire load.
Oh wow.
80 to 85, you can start expecting something to blow very soon. 90, almost guarantee it. Yeah, it was just some scary last few laps, and I was holding on and trying to get that 1 point with Mark there. I let him go because I knew I told him off. Like, all right, you go with his 2 points, or guarantee us some points. We had a few cars coming up on us. So yeah, it was that race. The mistake as who was telling Mark that? I think it was Rob that was telling Mark that, you'll make the mistake, and my mistake was spinning in that hairpin. I spun in that hairpin and ended up. What I suspect the cause to it was a bit of overheated tires. I quit paying attention to my telemetry on my wheel because I got so focused on the race. I kind of just it became non-existent to me, and I should have been paying more attention. And too high tires, got heavy on the throttle, spun on corner exit, and everybody passed me. And I was in fifth and started I think 9th or 8th.
Shit.
So yeah, it was it was a tough one for me, that race, because I was really wanting to, you know, my redemption be back at Canada, and usually it is. At least in my careers, I usually have bad races all the way up to Canada.
Oh yeah.
And I make my redemption.
Yeah.
For the season, but no, that one did not go well for me.
I remember watching a YouTuber, I can't remember who it was, but they had brand new tires, and they hit the wall, but it was their back right that went to 100 in red and punctured. And like they didn't damage anything else on the car. It, like, I guess they oversteered into a wall. It might have been in at Singapore, and the tire just came off the rim. And I'm like, I didn't know that could happen. And it was a brand new car, like, or brand new tires. It just came out of the pits, and then
you just hit it just right where.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't hit a wall and gotten a puncture. I mean, I've broken wheels off. Even my rear wheels, I've broken those off, dude.
Oh wow!
I've
never done that.
Yeah.
That must be like massive impact and knock the rear wheel
Yeah,
off.
you got, if you break your rear wheels off, you really fucked up.
Yeah, that was like Seb's car at the end of the Malaysia Grand Prix last year when he collided with Stroll. Like, that thing just flipped over onto the other side of the car. I've never seen something like that happen. Yeah.
That's why we tethered our tires to the cars.
Yep.
Because that wheel would have went flying.
Yeah. Actually, wasn't it, it happened actually at Spa, where a tire came off of a car, went into the stands, and killed a couple of people. But it was a black and white video that I watched, so it was a while ago. But I don't think that's what. Yeah, I don't think that's what prompted them to tether them. But I think the tethers came in in the 2000s.
Yeah, 2000s. I can't remember what incident exactly it was that caused it. I know Senna's death was a huge.
It was a wake-up call for safety. That was when he was driving a Williams car, wasn't he, when that happened?
No, where was he though? He might have been.
Because there was a death earlier that weekend, and then Barrichello got into an accident that shook everybody. And then
it was, the day before in qualifying, a person died there. It was at Imola, actually.
Oh, right, yeah, Imola, yeah.
And the driver beforehand the day before in qualifying died there. Day after, Senna died, and I've done some research into this. I can go into detail about it. The crash that happened was, he was entering that corner. It was actually the same corner the day before I think it was Barrichello. I can't remember the guy. I should know the guy the day before that died as well, but I can't recall the name. I think it was Barrichello, but don't quote me on that. Senna entered that same corner that the previous guy crashed in. And you could tell, and Senna was trying to slow down the car. You could tell he went from 300 to like 250, 60 something like that, 240 even. But then hit the wall, of course.
Yeah.
And what happened was everybody thinks it was that tire that killed him. It wasn't. The tire that hit him and the tire rods and stuff is what fractured his skull. That injury alone, by the time he would have gotten to the hospital, he would have been dead.
Yeah.
His death was inevitable. But what they found upon further investigation later on was that there was actually a small shard of metal from either the wishbone suspension or something, the linkage with arms was actually lodged into his skull as well, which caused a lot of bleeding.
Yeah.
So it was the G's of the impact that fractured his skull, getting hit in the head from metal parts and tires flying, and then that shard lodging into his skull. And there were two people who only ever seen these photos. It was the photographer and one of the directors of the FIA. Because if you've seen the crash, there is a pool of blood underneath the car. It's not just a little puddle, it literally is a pool.
Yeah.
These photos were never released because they were that
graphic.
horrific.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Like, I know they took him out of the car and put him on the track, and like knew almost right away that he was gone.
He was dead on spot.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, it's sad because, I mean, it is one of those crashes where when you know the details like that, you know, everybody's like, oh, it would have been nice if it didn't happen. It's like, even if you didn't get hit, the fractured skull enough, but
yeah,
that's what killed him, was the fractured skull. It wasn't anything afterwards. Anything else afterwards was just injury to insult.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that was the reasoning for tethering tires or not. I don't think it was. I think it was a couple crashes later on.
Yeah.
It might have been that Spa incident that you're talking about. Maybe not. But yeah.
that was that video that I saw from was the Spa. That was, I think, must have been in the 50s, because it was in black and white and the cars were.
Oh.
You know, yeah. They were one of the earlier versions of the cars when it looked like just a cigar with wheels on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be interesting days.
Yeah.
Nobody knows nowadays that was Formula One back in the day. We just think that's sports car racing.
Yeah. Like how they were able to, like, I was watching a documentary and they were saying that the reason why there wasn't a lot of fear is because, you know, the nation was just coming back from the war, and you know, excitement of living was, you know, at the forefront. You know, the war was over, we get to survive and all that, and they wanted to feel alive. And like all the deaths that happened to feel alive is kind of ironic, but I'm happy that F1 is as safety conscious as it is. Actually, what are your thoughts on the halo?
Okay. In a regulatory standpoint, and I guess a more humane view, they're excellent.
Mm-hmm.
They can withstand 12 tons of force anywhere of impact on that halo, no matter where it gets hit. So that's very good, meaning it's not useless. It really can hold up anything that gets on at that. I have seen POV videos of Williams and a few other teams who've done, you know, they've mounted a GoPro to the helmet to show you what it's like. The view is not that bad. I mean, you have the big thick arch that is generally above your vision, and when you're racing, I don't think you're going to be paying attention to that. And the cross member that comes down in the center is just as wide, if not thinner, than that antenna that we stare at the cars right now.
Yeah.
So, for all the reasons that people say, oh, they're horrible, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, there are drivers that have complained about them. Kimi did in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
But, so in a safety aspect, I think they're great. In a visual standpoint, in what Formula One is, it's open cockpit racing, I disagree.
Yeah.
Do I see them lasting? I can't say. This is merely a testing season for them. You know, they might even get rid of them next season. It's just to see if the halo is worth it or not.
Yeah.
So I don't think F1 will ever be the same again. It's a new era, and quite frankly, I was watching a video on it of I don't think it was David Crofty. No, it wasn't David Crofty. It was a big name in F1. He's explaining the halo, and he put it straight up. He was like, "Face it, F1 has changed. Deal with it." Kind of thing. Like it's a new era, and you gotta move with it or get stuck in the past. And
yeah. I just know that the halo would not have prevented the injury to Massa. Well,
No.
it would have if the conditions were right and the angle was completely different to the way Massa was hit. But then it wouldn't be the Massa incident if things were different. So I thought maybe an open,
Are you talking the 2014 crash?
yeah. Actually,
Oh, that's Bianchi. Really is Bianchi.
Oh no, I'm talking about when the part of the strut flew and hit Massa in the helmet when he was. I think it was with Ferrari. But
yeah, it would have been Ferrari. Yeah, Ferrari. Before Williams, he was Ferrari. I don't even know if he was on. He was with before Ferrari. Actually.
Yeah. Whip is watching the stream, and he was saying like you don't even notice the cross member, which is true. Like if you put your finger between your eyes, after a while you stop seeing it. It just And he also mentioned that the GT2 proved that the halo is useful when. I remember what he's talking about when the car, a car came back up and the rear tire hit the halo, and the halo, prevented the driver from getting hit with the tire. Like it wasn't a loose tire; it was actually the car had
So it had power to it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So and it stopped it without a problem. You could see the rubber marks on it, and the FIA is like, see. This is why we do it, I'm like, okay, well, it's going to stop that, but it's not going to stop.
I can't argue that.
Yeah, it's not going to stop what happened to Massa. Although they have said that, they know it wouldn't have stopped, and that's not why they came out with this halo. It wasn't because of his accident that caused this. It was to prevent tires and larger things from hitting people. Yeah. But the whole open cockpit, like that, I absolutely agree with. The only thing they could have used instead of the halo would be a half windshield. That would have stopped the Massa incident. Oh, they did? Oh, okay.
Vettel tested it.
Oh, Vettel, yeah.
He immediately came back. I feel sick. You can't do this.
Oh, yeah, because it distorts your vision.
It gives it. Yeah, it warps what you see, and that's why they didn't do it. They would have done it, but can't have drivers getting sick in the cars.
Yeah, but the halo would have saved Bianchi.
They would have.
That was such a shame.
But you can also contradict it though, is saying his head could have hit the halo. It's farther away than what we all originally at that point were thinking it was going to be, but. Back when the halo was first brought up, we were like, "Oh, well, his head could have hit the halo, so it wouldn't have changed." But that is the argument. Who's the director of it?
Charlie Whiting?
No, sorry, not him.
Oh, the little toad, Jean Todt.
No.
Let
me search up the Bianchi crash. I'll give you the. No.
Okay. I'm naming off everyone I can think of. I'm running pretty thin.
Hold on. I'm bad with my names and.
Yeah, that's how I remember the FIA president, that little toad, and that's right, it's Todd. Oh, jeez.
That's good. I like it.
Oh yeah, go ahead and join. Sorry, I was answering Whip.
No. I'm kidding.
Yeah, we're just doing a test of the emergency broadcast system. Although I still have to remember to start the broadcast after loading in. If I do it before, then it's ruined, and I would have to ask Kev to get you guys to back out of the qualifying when you're done, and that's just I don't like asking him to do that. That's the only way it would work. Because like when I said that the game crashed, he's like, oh, just restart and come back in. It'll be fine. I'm like, no, we've gone through this before. That won't work.
He's now, not to be too hard on Kev here. He's kind of gone autopilot or tech support with a lot of things. I've noticed.
Yeah. Well, he's got so many people that he has to try and wrangle. This is like wrangling kittens to get everybody into the lobby.
And I understand it. I used to run leagues. I still kind of do a GT3. I've kind of honestly have dropped out a little bit with it just because Project Cars is brutal on a controller.
Yeah. Oh shit!
I manage it still. Oh hey, I kind of manage it still, but I don't race much.
Yeah.
Running a league is very difficult, but it's still, you don't want to stray away from when you started.
Yeah.
It's definitely not killing the group what he's doing. It's a little frustrating. We're trying to explain an issue, and all you're getting is just like scripture answers, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's all good. I understand why.
Oh.
So I have a question for you guys.
Yes. Go
by
ahead.
the way, hello. What do you guys think about Eric Boulier leaving McLaren?
We were talking about that earlier.
We touched on that one. Yeah. 'Cause we're both McLaren fans, obviously. So,
I have a $200 McLaren shirt.
Oh, nice.
I'm a little sad to see him go. I don't know
Yeah,
about you guys.
Excited?
Yeah. Because like they're trying to streamline things, get it to the way they want it, and
for the past decade, McLaren's been really destable.
Yes.
Different CEOs, shareholders, and stuff. So it's finally a time to stabilize things again.
Get their stuff together, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, was it a mutual parting, or did he resign because they want to restructure things? I didn't.
He said
he resigned because of stress.
Oh.
It just got too
he
much.
said it was stress, and he wanted. It was the article I read on Motorsport said that he had resigned due to a number of things, but one of the main points is that the team wanted to focus on streamlining lining back to their winning ways, and they felt it was like a mutual. The way that Motorsport made it sound was kind of like a mutual parting, but I really think that Zach Brown might have just said, "Hey, you need to get your stuff and go."
From the article I read on Formula1.com, I could read it out right now if you guys want me to.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
It's mutual. There's nothing against the two of them, but McLaren is excited, I think.
Yeah.
And here, I'll read the article, and you'll understand, or hopefully understand. Okay. So the 2018 F1 campaign was supposed to be the dawn of a new era for McLaren, but after a positive start, things have appeared to go south. Hopes of challenging fellow Renault customer Red Bull remain a pipe dream. Racing director Eric Boulier has resigned as part of a leadership shakeup. So how do McLaren plan to get themselves out of the doldrums? There we go. Last year when Boulier said McLaren's chassis is one of the best in F1, the implication was that their Honda engine was holding them back. So the team made the bold decision to end their works relationship with the Japanese manufacturer and forego the financial benefits that came with it, in favor of Renault customer deal. In theory, if McLaren had one of the best chassis, they should be up to level with Red Bull. Currently third in the Constructors' Championship with 3 wins on the board in 2018. The reality is the MCL 33 is nowhere near that pace, with Fernando Alonso and Stoffel Van Dorn struggling to make the top 10 shootout in qualifying, let alone challenging for the podium. To be fair to Boulier, the Honda Works deal to replace the Mercedes customer arrangement had seemed sorted before he had even arrived at the team. But the pressure on Boulier, whose mandate involved overhauling the technical structure of the team, has increased in recent weeks as McLaren's form tailed off. I need water. It's a long article. And on the eve,
Formula1.com is usually long-winded anyway, so we understand.
it is.
Yeah.
So I'm in for it. And on the eve of the British Grand Prix, it was set to extend no surprise that McLaren announced an overhaul. Boulier leaves with McLaren Racing COO Simon Roberts overseeing production, engineering, logistics. Andrea Stella, who worked with Alonso at Ferrari, is performance director, who will lead the team at the track, and according to the chief executive Zak Brown, will be ultimately responsible for the performance of the car. Speaking from the team's HQ in Woking following the announcement, Brown said that Boulier's resignation, which he received on Tuesday night, wasn't a surprise. He added, quote, "We have been under a lot of pressure and underperforming for too long, so Eric and I have had many conversations around how we can improve McLaren." And so we'd had conversations in the past of what's the best way to do that. Ultimately, he wants what's best for McLaren, as we all do. So when he ultimately made the decision, it was not a surprise. It was something we had spoken about, our challenges and potential ways to address them. McLaren failed to bring the car they hoped to have in time for Australia. That package wasn't ready until the 5th race of the season in Spain. Since then, their performance has actually gone downhill. They currently lie 6th in the Constructors' Championship on 44 points, 145 adrift of Red Bull in 3rd. Having scored points in each of the first 5 races, they've managed to do just once in the subsequent 4. Since Boulier joined McLaren ahead of 2014, they have managed just 2 podiums. The team hasn't won a race since the 2012 season finale in Brazil. Their last Drivers' Championship came in 2008. You have to go back 10 years to 1998 for their last Constructors' Championship. McLaren have been sliding for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the problem, according to Brown, is that the team have been consistently de-established because of the internal structural changes, and that in turn has contributed to McLaren's failings, leaving them where they are today. Quote, "Our results this year have been demonstrated we have a big performance issues," admitted Brown. "We are punching well below our weight given the history, the talent of people, the resources, and the technology at our disposal. This comes from a culmination. Yeah, culmination. Thank you.
No problem.
Of being destabilized over many years within our team. If you look at our past 7 or 8 years, we have had different CEOs, different shareholders in and shareholders out, CEOs in and CEOs out. We have really failed to get on stable footing to be able to rebuild this with great team, this great team, which is now what we're going to do. We have done a lot of work behind the scenes, and we are now taking measures to rebuild McLaren and to make us a race-winning organization. It's completely unacceptable situation we find ourselves in. It is very painful for all of us here at McLaren, but the one thing we will not do is quit." This is all quoted, by the way. This is Eric Brown talking.
Yeah.
This next bit isn't. Mercedes took several years before they arranged as the dominant force they are today. The same can be said for Red Bull before they won 4 double world championships on the bounce, and Ferrari waited more than 2 decades between titles before Schumacher won 5 on the bounce. Unsurprisingly, Brown concedes it will take time for McLaren to become the force once more. Quote, "We have announced this big change to get our house in order. We are not going to knee-jerk react. The team needs a period of stabilization so we can build a strong foundation," he said. The situation was not created overnight and therefore will not be fixed overnight. So today is our first step in getting back to our winning ways. I'm losing my voice. We are very lucky to have a... I understand, Goody. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a bottle of scotch in it with me next time I come to this.
Yeah. Yeah. That will help with the jitters too.
Yes. We are very lucky to have a brilliant technical racing team filled with 700 plus very dedicated men and women that work at McLaren, and so specifically moving forward. As we start to simplify the organization, accelerate the organization, because I think our structure and way of working has got us to where we are today. Now, what will Fernando Alonso make of all this? The double world champion's contract expires at the end of the season, and the team are keen to keep him on. But it remains unclear whether Alonso, who commands one of the biggest salaries on the grid, will stay on for a 5th season at McLaren. Brown believes Alonso delivers good value for money, and added that he had consulted with the Spaniard as part of the process, and he is aware of what McLaren is trying to do. Quote, Fernando is someone who has a nice history here at McLaren. He's a huge asset, he said. I think all of you would recognize that he is, we think, the best driver on the grid. While all you see is magic on the racetrack, what you may not see is magic off the racetrack and the valued contributions he makes and insights he has into the performance of the car, into the performance of the team. So Fernando is someone who I have consulted since I started because he knows what a world championship effort looks like, and I value his opinion. He's a part of this process. He's a contributor to bringing McLaren forward. Ooh, 2 more paragraphs. This one's a quote again. As far as his salary is concerned, I think he's worth every penny. We have total commitment for our shareholders, so we have the resources we need to spend in the areas we need to. It's not an either or, so I think we get a great value out of our contribution to Fernando's salary. They say admitting you have problems is half the battle, but unpacking and solving them will take time. We must now wait to see if the latest overhaul gives them tools to win the next battle, and in turn to give them a chance to win the war. Written by Lawrence Barretto.
Damn.
So,
yeah.
That is what it sounds like to me is McLaren is kind of happy that Boullier is gone.
Yeah.
Good guy, but Kimi made a bit of a satire post on Instagram today. He's like, oh, just found out that Boullier left McLaren. Kimi joining McLaren becoming a more realistic thing now? Question mark. So I think Kimi and Boullier don't really get along.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like it.
That'd be cool to see Kimi on McLaren.
Yeah.
No, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Partnered with who? Stoffel or Fernando?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'd take it. Stoffel can go.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. I know he's new, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's being been outqualified by Fernando. Well, it is Fernando. Let's just say, yeah.
But just where he performs all the time. This season is worse than last season.
Yeah.
But rookies, I guess, that gotta give him some time. Everyone.
Mm-hmm. But then you look at Leclerc. Leclerc is just
that's what I'm comparing him to.
Yeah. Like he's the rookie now, and he's just.
And look at when Verstappen first started. Kvyat gave up his spot at Red Bull just so Verstappen could go.
Yeah.
Make it go
No, Kvyat lost his spot to Verstappen because he couldn't drive right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He screwed with Vettel one too many times, and Vettel and Christian had words, and then Christian and Franz Tost and Kvyat had words, and then Kvyat was in Toro Rosso, and then Verstappen took his seat. Yeah. All after Russia. But
Kvyat's home
honestly,
race,
Daniel Ricciardo has more of a chance of going to McLaren than Kimi Räikkönen does, because Räikkönen sounds like he's out. Like, his contract is up at the end of this season, and from the reports I've been getting from all the YouTube channels that I watch that follow Formula One and stuff like that, it sounds like Kimi's on the outs.
Damn.
He's not happy with how Ferrari's treating him. And he's just done, and Ferrari is already saying, look, Leclerc's got his spot next year anyway. It's a guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the reports that have come out. Leclerc's got his spot next year, so it's either Kimi doesn't have a seat or Alonso leaves and he takes Alonso's spot, and then either Daniel decides to sign with Red Bull or he goes to McLaren, because that's going to be the only other open spot. Because Alonso is already saying he might go to Indy next year.
He's wanting that triple crown.
Yep.
He does.
He wants that triple crown. He's already won Monaco and he's already won the Le Mans. Yeah. So he wants that triple crown.
And he was so close last year. So close.
He was. I think he's going to go for
Indy 500.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll get it. He'll get it next year, guaranteed. When he goes, he'll get it next year.
Yeah. Provided that he can get into a car that is reliable.
Oh well, you know damn well they'll give him a reliable car next year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Andretti's team actually didn't finish too bad. I think they were in the top 10, maybe even in the top 5.
There were so many lead changes in that 500 this year.
Oh yeah, there were. There was a lot, but I mean that drive that he had in Le Mans, you know, he's got the skill.
Yep.
It's just
I was not expecting him to win Le Mans. Honestly.
Yeah, no, neither was I. Not that early. Like I figured he was going to finish. Yeah, like granted, it was just one team that was
this season anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what he's doing this season anyway. He's been doing most of the World Endurance Championship races, and on top of doing Formula One. So, you know, he's got the drive, and I honestly expected him. He was the favorite to win Le Mans. Not necessarily. I mean, well, that team was the favorite to win, but you know,
one of their two cars,
Yeah, one of their two cars, and that drive that he had at night, even close to when he was done with the end of his stint. And you're like, hey, man, I'm in the zone. I can go out longer. Come on, let me stay out. And they're like, nope, you're good. Come on in.
Yeah, because they've got a maximum amount they can do, unless they're the gold driver. I think the gold driver has the majority of the time in the seat.
The gold driver can take as many stints as they want.
Yeah.
It's the more amateur ones that they have to meet their minimum time in the seat, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get minimum drive time, but I mean they gave Fernando plenty of drive time, and look out how many seconds he made up to the lead car, and then when they had their mechanical problems, Buemi or whoever it was that was or Takahashi, whatever his name is, whoever the third driver was alongside Alonso and Buemi.
Yeah, the Japanese driver was their gold, I believe. Yeah.
He was the gold driver, and he took it home for the team. So I mean, bam. It was all in all, it was a really good race, and I honestly think that if given the chance next year, he will definitely win Indy, but he will not be in Formula One next year. The way he's talking in other interviews outside of Formula One, it sounds like he's just done. This season is proved to him that he's not going to get anywhere else in Formula One, and his contract's up at the end of the season, and he'll probably just say goodbye and go. Unless
he signs a split, like half the season with F1 and half
the season with Indy.
That way they can bring in another driver that could replace him in 19 or in 20.
Well, see, and then there goes. There's two factors. Well, there's multiple factors as probably about why that couldn't happen, but one of the main ones is Daniel Ricciardo is still going to be a free agent as of 2019.
Yeah.
You don't know where he's going to sign to. Red Bull is saying, oh yeah, it's highly likely that they're going to sign him, but given the way that they're interacting with him lately, especially with what happened in Austria, you know, that's well, you can see the look of anger on his face during the interviews.
Yeah, he said he'll have his decision made by the summer break.
And I think he'll probably his choices are either if Ferrari wants to really pull a doozy, they could sign Ricciardo out from under Red Bull.
Yeah.
McLaren could be like, hey, we're going to do this. Red Bull can borrow Ricciardo for half of the season until Alonso splits, but then the rest of the season he's coming with us, and he's going to be our 2020 driver. They could do that. And then Leclerc could go to Sauber, or Leclerc could go to Ferrari.
Yeah.
Or, because Bottas's deal is up at the end of this season too, either that or they just signed another contract with him. I haven't really heard much about Bottas, but I'm still assuming that his contract's up at the end of this season.
Yeah.
Ricciardo could go to McLaren, or not McLaren, but
Silver Arrows, yeah.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
The Silver Arrows. And, you know, Lewis and Ricciardo can bust out a pretty good Nico Rosberg-Hamilton-esque fight.
With a lot more respect.
With a lot more, well, maybe.
Their relationship started out,
their rivals on track.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Ricciardo shows Hamilton no quarter in that Red Bull. And I think if you put Ricciardo in a Silver Arrow, he would beat the brakes off of Lewis.
Yeah, I think he would be winning championships.
You put Ricciardo in a Ferrari, he'll fucking drive circles around Sebastian.
Yeah, he did it at Red Bull in Seb's last season.
He did do it at Red Bull.
Yep.
He did do it at Red Bull, and that would be an interesting pair up at Ferrari too. If you really think about it, that would be a really good pair up because they already know how to work with each other. Well, they could really push each other too.
That's where I think it might fall apart because Seb likes to be the number one driver. He likes his teammate to assist him, and when that didn't happen in his last year at Red Bull, he wasn't going to sign another contract with them. He went to Ferrari because he knew that Ricciardo was as good, if not better than him. And this is just my personal opinion, and I'm it's just speculation, but I believe.
I know you're a Vettel hater.
I believe that
okay.
that Vettel prefers that number one spot, and he doesn't like to be challenged. Not challenged
Vettel's
on the track, but challenged
totally.
as the number one driver is what I meant. But that's why I don't know if he would go well, like work well with Ricciardo. Like he wants an established number two driver as a teammate, and that's not Ricciardo. That would be Leclerc.
See, I don't think that's Leclerc either.
I actually do. Like in 5 years, that wouldn't be Leclerc. But I don't think. I think over the length of a 3-year contract, he would be a good number two driver. He would push. Like I don't think he's better than Vettel right now, but he has the potential to be way better. Like he would be able to push Vettel for those 3 years, and Vettel would push back, and they would be able to work well together. But beyond that, well, actually, I think at the end of if Leclerc had a 3-year contract, Vettel would be gone anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't see that working out that way because look at how Leclerc has been driving lately. He's been out-qualifying Ericsson.
Hell, I could out-qualify Ericsson in my wheelchair.
Everybody can out-qualify Ericsson.
I'm not a big Ericsson fan, so...
Either am I.
Talk about Ericsson.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at the drives he's had. He's been able to push that Sauber into He pushed that Sauber into Q3 in France.
Yeah.
And then he didn't do it in Austria. So I mean, if he does it in Britain, that will be another feat. But he's put that Sauber into Q2 consistently.
Yeah, but he is still considered the second driver at Sauber. He is the second driver.
He is the second driver, but he is outperforming.
He's better. Oh yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about that.
So see that's where I think the problem is with Vettel and Leclerc, is if you put Leclerc in a Ferrari too early,
He's gonna
he might just pull a Ricardo and do the same thing that Ricardo did to Vettel at Red Bull.
Drive Vettel right out of the team.
Drive Vettel right out of the fucking team. And that's not what Vettel needs. And I will agree with you 100%. Vettel is a total freaking prima donna when it comes to being a number one driver. I mean, he won't go to a team unless it's number one status.
Yeah, it has to be structured a certain way.
It has to be structured a certain way. That's why Mercedes will never pick him up, because he's not going to play second fiddle to Hamilton.
Yeah.
And even if on the out suddenly next year, because they're supposedly still talking figures about Hamilton's contract. If Hamilton does decide to up and retire next year, and they're pull a rabbit out of their hat and they sign Vettel, Vettel's not going to play second fiddle to nobody. I mean, not even Valtteri. If they re-sign Valtteri as the first driver.
Well, I doubt they would sign Valtteri as the first driver. No, if they did sign Vettel,
not consistent enough to be a first driver.
Yeah, if Mercedes did sign Vettel, Vettel would be the number one driver out of those two. But the thing with
Ricardo wants a number one spot. He's not going to play second fiddle to no one.
Well, that's the thing with Mercedes, is like they give both drivers an equal shot until one proves to be better, and then they start backing that driver. But Ferrari will not do that. Ferrari will always have an established one, and they always always get the priority. Like, look what happened. What was it with Schumacher and Barrichello when Rubens was in front, and they told him to move aside and let Mike. That was just. I did not agree with that. Like, granted, there was a larger picture, but you don't take a win away from a driver for that. That's just second place points are still pretty good.
Yeah. And then, I mean, look. Well, it's funny you bring up Barrichello and Schumacher, because look at what Vettel did to Weber in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Took that win away from him.
Yeah.
That was screwed up. Second place points would have still gotten him the championship.
Yeah, they did not have a good relationship at all.
No, they did not.
It's still like, even when Weber does interviews after the race, and Vettel is involved,
it's still pretty tumultuous.
It's fun to watch, but you can see them. Like, Weber's like, okay, I gotta ask, put on the smile, but you can still see some of the tension.
Have you ever noticed that whenever Weber does interview Vettel, they're always very sarcastic questions?
Kind of, yeah, like barbed.
Yeah, they're like pointed, barbed questions that are just like, okay, yeah, I know you did this.
Yeah, and he's always like, thanks,
blah,
mate.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, goody.
And then
yeah.
They still take their jabs. It's still kind of funny.
Oh, sorry about that.
I just killed Goody.
I still can't believe that Daniel Ricciardo got Sir Patrick Stewart to do a shoey.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
That
and
was
he was at Canada too. So
yeah, it was in Canada, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I'll do it.
Patrick Stewart is a god, in my opinion. He is the best Star Trek captain ever. Hands down.
I've actually heard rumors that, like, CBS is trying to get 4 shows together, like 4 different kinds of shows, and one of them is going to be like a mini-series. Yeah, a mini-series about Picard. Because a lot of people are saying, like, Picard's run cannot end on Nemesis. Like, that was just
it can't.
oh, like, I liked the movie, but it wasn't great. Yeah. Well, what happened was Data's memories and everything were put into him, and he became. Well, I think that was the backstory in the Star Trek Online, but they didn't really delve too much into it. Like, a lot of the old actors are lending their voices to Star Trek Online.
Yeah, I know.
And like almost all of the
LeVar
DS9.
Burton did it.
Yep. Everyone from DS9 except Cisco. They all came back and lent their voices.
He's
a bit crazy.
He wasn't. Yeah, he's a bit crazy. He wasn't all there in that Captain's documentary. That
yeah, I noticed. Yeah. How did we get onto Star Trek? We went from F1 to Star Trek. Oh, the shoey.
Because we were talking about the shoey that Patrick Stewart did, Sir Patrick Stewart. That dude is a badass.
Yeah, I think I gotta close down the broadcast because I am.
Holy crap! I think he just broke a window.
Who?
Oh.
One of your neighbors?
No. Oh, I know who did it. Somebody set off an artillery shell in the storm drain.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, so I am going to end the broadcast here and